This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Leo Inc., Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.
Good morning, everyone. Can you believe we are already approaching the end of July? But events and stories are not slowing down anytime soon. The state played a more active role this week, recognizing learners in leadership positions, as well as additional funding for education, while the city is driving forward cleaner transportation options and more summer fun. With that, let's jump right into the news for Friday, July 18th, 2025. Governor Maura Healey appointed former CEO of the Lynn Community Health Center, Dr. Kiami Mahania, as the Secretary of Health and Human Services, effective last Monday, July 14th. Dr. Mahania was Undersecretary of Health for the Executive Office of Health and Human Services from April of 2023 to now. In his new role as secretary, he will oversee a team of 23,000 staff members spread over 11 agencies, as well as the Mass Health program. Dr. Mahania is a practicing physician specializing in primary care and addiction, and he will continue to see patients as he did while undersecretary. Additionally, Dr. Mahania is an assistant professor in the Department of Family Medicine at Tufts University. He is looking forward to his new role, stating, quote, "This is certainly a challenging moment for healthcare and human services work, but our state has a head start, thanks to our world-leading resources, talent, providers, and partners, to come together, solve problems, and work to make the right services available and support to those who need them," end quote. LCHC also released a statement congratulating their former CEO, calling him a trustworthy and steady leader through COVID who always remains grounded in his community. Keeping it community-based, the Treehouse Learning Center took over Manning Field for their 2025 Spectacular Summer Event, featuring face painting, slime making, bouncy houses, and resource tables. This event is designed to give families a chance to take a break and relax in the midst of an otherwise very busy life.
So we have two locations, 30 Boston Street and 200 Oxford Street. We serve children from two months to 6 years old in our community.
And this event is for our community. We invite all our community, all people, and come here, come have fun. We have a lot of stations. We have science stations, we have art, we have some vendors with us too. We have bubbles. Well, we have everything in here. That's for you guys from Treehouse Learning Center.
The foundation is an extension of the Treehouse Learning Center, and it's a way for us to foster a greater sense of community and belonging, where we can offer resources and support to families in need and help them guide them in the right direction when they need support, like physical therapy, occupational therapy, ABA services, things of that nature. So if you want to learn more, stop by our center and we can tell you all about it.
We also have transportation that we just started to provide for the children in our community as well. We are a play-based learning center. We learn beyond pages as well, using a system called ProCare, where parents is able to see what the child is doing, what they're playing, and when they're eating. We also provide meals for children that are healthy and nutritious for our community. Yeah, so Treehouse Learning Center is where it's at.
the City of Lynn, in partnership with the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center, are exploring the possibility of installing on-street electric charging stations for residents without access to off-street parking. Lynn will be receiving these project implementation services through Mass CEC's On-Street Charging Solutions program. They aim to encourage EV adaptation across the state by increasing access to EV charging stations within communities. This program began back in November of 2024 and will run through December of 2026 and is funded through the American Rescue Plan Act. Access to charging is a significant issue for those with electric vehicles, but without access to a driveway or assigned parking space. On-street chargers mounted on poles, street lights, or simply curbside charging stations aim to give all residents access to charging options. Therefore, organizations, businesses, and community members alike are invited to fill out a survey to raise potential sites and voice their preferences. This survey can also be filled out anonymously. Go to lyntv.org/news to access and fill out the survey by August 1st. While Beyond Walls has announced that students and teachers from Lynn Public Schools and St. Mary's will work collaboratively with world-class artists to design and create large-scale murals around the city. This program expands upon Classroom to the Streets, an initiative introduced by Beyond Walls in 2021 as an interdisciplinary approach to arts education. Through this program, teacher fellows will receive professional development credits for their collaborative work with the artists. Most excitingly, for the first time, a group of rising senior student fellows will also participate, learning from both the educators and artists. Over the next 6 weeks, 10 students will work with 11 educators and 6 professional artists, hailing from Italy, Spain, Argentina, Baltimore, Florida, and California. They will design and install 7 murals throughout the city, and in the fall of 2025, teachers will organize tours so that all students can experience and interact with the artwork. Mural installations will take place from July 28th through August 8th, ending in a community celebration during the Lynn Arts and Culture Festival on August 9th. On that note, let's throw it back to last summer with the 2024 Beyond Walls Street Art Tour. This award-winning video was created by our 2024-25 co-op students, Kim and Kaylee.
Beyond Walls is a nonprofit headquartered here in Lynn. Our mission is to activate public spaces to strengthen communities. We do things called design response, where we'll try and take a creative lens to what a community has shared as a challenge of their built environment, and that has us bringing in architects, engineers, lighting experts, whatever is needed for that. But what we're most known for and renowned for is putting up really large-scale epic pieces of street art. We curate to the demographics of the cities that invite us in to serve them. And so we have a new group of artists, a new contingent of artists that are here in Lynn right now putting up artwork. The tours today are part of what Beyond Walls does, which is offering tours to the public and tours to youth groups of the street art of the city that we've been installing since 2017. We point out and talk about the other art and cultural establishments that are here in the city that make the city so great. And so part of our tours today are part of this Lynn Arts Festival.
Dominican artist Ruben Oviera created an impressive mural at Bentwater Brewery, completing the piece in a little over half a day. His exceptional skill and efficiency were such that our crew was not able to capture the artwork in progress.
The piece I made here for the Bentwater Brewing Company in Lynn is a gorilla. A gorilla is one of the animals that I paint a lot because I use it as a way to speak about the street art movement that is taking all over the world. Public art is very important because I always say that with public art is how you see the soul of a city. Arts, not only does it tie community together, it also showcases what the community feels and thinks and agrees about as a whole. And it also inspires, which is one of the many reasons why we artists try to do our work.
Bueno, el significado de mi pieza quiere decir la comunicación entre los niños cuando quieren jugar o quieren compartir sus juegos. Sí. Siento que es muy importante el arte público porque yo pienso que todo el mundo necesita arte para que la gente se eduque un poco y no solo hayan paredes grises en la ciudad, sino también que la gente siempre viva en alegría y viendo cosas bellas en las calles.
Hi, I'm Mr. June. I'm from Rotterdam, the Netherlands. They flew me over here to paint this mural, and I'm invited by Beyond Walls here in Lynn. My piece is, I think I always paint sort of the same thing. I prefer not to sketch, and everything I make here, it's kind of abstract, but it's all based off a hexagon. A lot of people see like art or public art as a luxury, or as a secondary thing. But to be honest here, you guys in the States are well more aware of the fact that public art is working because it brightens up the neighborhood. I painted all over in the world. We all started to paint with a lot of artists like in bad neighborhoods. That was a bad, and those neighborhoods where the rent is cheap, those where the artists go in because the rent is cheap and a lot of walls, but after you see it everywhere. So that's the importance of street art, I think.
My name is Chris Saravia. My artist name is Golden 305. I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. I've been living in Miami for 32 years. The mural is more than just a good-looking mural. It's also to be used therapeutically by the teachers with a universal scale to measure their behavior and the anemic status. It's called zones of regulation. Red means energetic, overexcited. Blue means sad, worried. And green is when you're ready to learn, when you're positive. Yellow means confused, worried, stressed. But it's so much more than a mural. It's really a tool. So hopefully this helps the teachers in the school system to improve in how to communicate with these kids that are having issues communicating and learning, you know.
My name is Bruno Smokey. I'm from Brazil originally. I've been doing this for 21 years. This is my life, my passion. Here we're talking about the connection between us humans and the natural environment, the world, you know, the ocean, and how important it is for us to take care of our Mother Earth. We've been working on this for the past, today's the 4th day. Growing up, I didn't have any access to art. Since I started painting in the street, I see the power and the influence that a street art can cause into a community. You know? For me, it's more than just a paint on the wall. This is all for you guys that it walks by here every day. That's kind of like the responsibility that I take on my art every time.
Beyond Walls has brought together a diverse array of artists in Lynn to create unique murals as part of their celebration of public art. We eagerly anticipate the new works of art they'll be expecting next summer.
On Monday, July 14th, the Healy-Driscoll administration announced the awarding of $972,000 in Civics Teaching and Learning Grants to 37 school districts, including Lynn. Lynn Public Schools will receive one of the largest pieces at $48,000 to increase civics learning in the curriculum. These grants will support curriculum and professional development to advance civic knowledge and skills among students. Specifically, they will allow for the implementation of grade 8 and high school civics projects, the hosting of local civics project showcases, and the chance to participate in the Massachusetts Civics Project Showcase. These grants are funded through the State Civics Project Trust Fund to implement student-led civic action projects and bring civic instruction into alignment with the 2018 Massachusetts History and Social Science Framework. If you have seen the free little libraries around town, then you've already seen the impact of the REAL program. We welcome back their founder and executive director, Jan Plourde, on the Lowdown to discuss their new preschool and summer activities. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we welcome back on Jan Plourde, the founder and executive director of the REAL program. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So we're going to dive right into it. You know, I know we've talked about REAL before, generally all the programs that you offer, which are amazing. But today we're here to talk specifically about the preschool that you launched. It was last year, correct?
Yeah.
So how has that been going so far?
Well, it's starting small, and that's the name of the program, and it's also how we have started. So it is kind of funny that way, but it's delightful, and it's exciting for us to have the opportunity to do this finally. It's been many, many years in the making, and we have a great director of the preschool. Her name is Tammy Galland, and she is somebody who has 5 children of her own. Wow. And also has a strong background in early childhood education. She has some bilingual capability in Spanish and English. It helps a lot. And then we also have Autumn Kane, who is from Gloucester, who is a fabulous preschool teacher. And the children just love Miss Tammy and Miss Autumn. And so they have a great day with these guys. They're the happiest little people.
They are. Kids are just always so happy, so fun. It sounds like they're good at, wrangling them. But I will ask, so I know preschools, they can vary what times of year they run, how long they actually run during the day. So what about yours?
Sure. So our program runs from 7:45 to 1:45 and follows the public school calendar of Lynn Public Schools. So it is a 6-hour day. It's not a 10-hour day that some people need for a work day, but this is a 6-hour day and it's preschool. And so we do also break for the summer, but in the summer, which we are still enrolling, so there's room right now for the preschool program, and it's 7:45 to 1:45 Monday through Thursday in the summer, and it is from July 7th, which is a week from Monday, July 7th until August 14th. Yeah. Nice. So there's a lot of fun things planned for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do. You always have something going, always have something happening for sure.
Yeah.
And like you said, that the preschool has been years in the making.
Yes.
So how did that process go to finally get it off the ground in 2024?
Yeah, so the big issues is, of course, we were interrupted by the pandemic. We were interrupted with other things on sort of the business side of things. All of this was beyond our control, and a huge part is that we spent a lot of years getting the house that we are in retrofitted and made safe for the children. And so, at this point, we finally got to the place where we could launch the preschool. The difficult part is at the same time we launched our preschool is when the state had no funding for vouchers. So we are in a position now where the children who really, really need the preschool setting are the ones that don't have the money to pay for it. So we are needing people to subsidize some of these folks to be able to come, because still nearly 60% of the children who enter kindergarten in Lynn do not have preschool, and that is difficult. That is difficult.
You can see the gap between that if you don't have that early education.
Yes, and the parents who have sent their children with us, they definitely see the impact of the children's opportunities here. Yeah.
And what sort of activities do you do with the little guys?
Well, it's very hands-on. It's play-based, literacy-based, of course. And we're outdoors as much as possible. Children are learning through play. People don't always remember that. They think there's learning and then there's play. But in children, it's play is learning and learning is play. So we have to just always remind people, and sometimes ourselves, that. But Tammy is great, and she has put together great activities. Never, I mean, truly, the stuff she comes up with, I can't imagine sometimes. It's quite something. And then Tammy and Autumn work really well together in getting books that all reflect on the types of things they're doing. But a typical day is they come in the morning, have a really a little bit of playtime, meeting time, reading time, and then they have breakfast. And we provide the breakfast and snacks, and the parents provide their lunches. So they have some structure in their day. The first thing they do when they come in is their parents bring them to the sink to wash their hands, and that's sort of like a handoff from the parent to us. Yeah. And that's a beautiful routine that Tammy has brought to the program. And so there's that, and we also go based on the philosophy of Reggio Emilia, and Reggio Emilia is a program or a philosophy of education, and it started in the 1940s when World War II ended in northern Italy. The Reggio Emilia is actually a place in Italy, and what was happening is all of that northern Italy was pretty much war-torn, and so when the war ended, tanks were just left, and memories were just bad. I mean, it was awful. But you still had children, and you still had a future for the children, and the villagers didn't want the families to be, always reflecting on what happened. They needed to focus on what could be. And of course, Italy is a major focus on beauty. So it was the idea of creating a place that children could be their own teacher. Children have a regular teacher that leads the whole program. Then they also have the environment as a teacher and families as a teacher. So there's 4 teachers for every child. And then there's the idea of children having 100 languages because they're learning so much, so fast. And this is for 3 to 5-year-old children. So, yeah.
Well, I would say I definitely always learn something because I did not know anything about that philosophy. So you've also just taught me more about that in the way that kids learn, learning through play. Yeah. And I said I'll pivot a little bit here because I said talking about play. You also, another major event you have coming up is a golf tournament that is in September. Right. Yes, so a few months. So you're also gearing up for that. That's going to be one of your big fundraisers.
We are indeed. September 15th at Kernwood Country Club. And we're looking for foursomes and sponsors now. We are, I'm learning, just like you're learning about play and education, I'm learning about play and golf.
There we go.
Yes, I've been a sports enthusiast, but golf, I've learned a lot in the last year. So yeah, it's exciting though. And Kernwood's a beautiful, beautiful place. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, it's stunning. I think I played there once in high school through the team, but that was it. I mean, it's an absolutely amazing course. And fundraisers like that, they go to support programs like the preschool, your general program. Is this for any specific program, or is this general fundraising?
This is general fundraising because all of our programs do need the support. So, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And do you have to live in Lynn to sign up for it, or is it's a
no? But we'd love a lot of Lynn presence there because people need to see that Lynn people know how to play golf too.
And we do a little bit.
Yeah, I'm speaking to a golfer.
Yeah, and an amateur one. I just do it for fun, but it's always so fun. You always do, I said, like activities like that. You're engaging people. Yes. It's ways to get an experience out of it, like you do for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And we hope this to bring our spirit of fun and making the world a better place to the golf tournament as well. So.
Well, you always do. So even from the bright scarf to everything, I always feel more excited and more hopeful after talking to you. So I always appreciate that.
It's all the scarf.
It's all the scarf. We're going to say it's the scarf. The scarf gets all the credit. Good job. And I do know I have to wrap up in a moment, but was there anything else I hadn't mentioned that you wanted to speak about generally?
Well, I think in general we have to look at the world that we are living in right now as a place that we all need to really focus more on our children and our children's experiences. And that is our future. And we absolutely need to be able to give that prime attention. Yeah. So.
Well, you definitely do. I said through all the programs, through the real program, and I'm just thank you for coming on to talk about this specific program. These ones coming up, and I'm really excited to see how it goes this summer.
I appreciate it, and thank you so much.
Of course, anytime. And you can learn more about the real program by visiting their website. But once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. The Navigators are on a 2-game win streak, sweeping the Vermont Mountaineers 2-1 and 2-0 in a doubleheader on the 15th. Alex Marat broke a 1-1 tie with a solo shot in the 6th inning of the opener. Marat also recorded the game-winning RBI on a single in the 1st inning of the finale. Most of the Red Sox team was on break this week, coming off a 10-game winning streak. But there was no rest for All-Stars Aroldis Chapman, Alex Bregman, and Garrett Crochet, who traveled down to Atlanta to compete in the 2025 All-Star Game. Bregman and Crochet did not play, but Chapman continued his dominance, recording a strikeout and no earned runs in his inning of work. There are several social justice organizations around the community, one of which was our second guest, the Essex County Community Organization. Their major focus is affordable housing and how that connects back with immigration, food security, and other necessities for living. Hear more about what some of their representatives had to say about an upcoming event in Lynn. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we welcome on the Essex County Community Organization and 2 of their representatives. Thank you so much for coming on today. Would you mind introducing yourselves to our audience?
Sure. My name is Colette Lima. I'm a community organizer at ECCO.
Thank you for having us. Good evening. My name is Minister Brenda Womack from Zion Baptist Church, and I am one of the co-chairs for ECCO, the Essex County Community Organization.
Fantastic. And ECCO, you're here in Lynn and in many other communities just around the Commonwealth. So first of all, Colette, would you mind just giving a brief overview of ECCO's mission for maybe people who aren't as familiar?
Yeah. So ECCO is an interfaith organization, meaning that we bring people together of different faiths, including people that aren't of a traditional faith tradition. And we come together on a shared value of social justice, and we work together to create change in our communities. We have an organizing model that we try to work with people within the community to support and develop their leadership. And right now we are campaigning on housing and immigration.
Yes, that's your big thing. And then Brenda, as a co-chair, what's involved in your role?
My role, what's involved in my role is working alongside of Colette, getting people more involved, doing one-on-ones, talking to folks, finding out what it is that they are missing, what it is that they want, what it is that they need, helping them to realize that they have a voice, they have a right to speak up for themselves, learning how to that, encouraging them to step forward, and to help bring about the changes that's needed.
I know I've been to a few of your events before, and it's very much like community engagement, encouraging people. Yeah, you're one person, but you do have a voice, and it matters, right, and it's important. That really seems to be the basis of your events. And I know you're here to talk about one specifically that's happening in a couple of weeks on July 23rd. And you said it's a follow-up from an event you had last year in 2024. So what is involved in this?
Yeah, so last year we brought representatives together in a room to ask them questions around the Affordable Homes Act. And this meeting is going to be following up from that, and we're going to be asking folks about the current rent stabilization bill. Okay. So right now there is a ban on rent control in Massachusetts, And as anyone that's a renter knows, rent is extremely high here. And so this bill would allow cities and towns to really have a choice whether or not they want to enact rent stabilization measures. And so at this event, we are trying to have a room full of people to ask our legislators whether or not they will support this bill.
Makes sense. And even I saw that you mentioned on yours, you were saying what's happening now with immigration is tying into the rent ban. They're both playing off of each other, but not in a positive manner. They're both detriments to each other.
We all know that housing is the root of everything. It is the basis of everything. Everything that folks are going through, housing is the #1 main issue. If we don't have stable housing, you don't have a happy home. If you don't have stable housing, you don't have people that are able to go out to work. The children are not even being able to learn as they should because they're worried about where am I going to lay my head. You know, we left home this morning with the place to stay, but when I get back, I may get back to a place where everything is all packed up, and now we got to go and find someplace else to go. Housing is the stable piece that is needed.
And you were mentioning too, there's a bill surrounding, what do you say, the ban on rent control. So what this bill would reverse that, get rid of it?
Yes, so it would lift the current ban on rent control in Massachusetts, and it would allow cities and towns to enact rent stabilization measures if they choose to.
And like you were saying, stable housing, if you don't have that.
If you don't have that, what else do you have? You don't have anything.
Right.
You know, and as we know, the homeless population is way out of control right now. Some by choice, some, you know, because they can't help it. But unless we can reenact the rent stabilization, this bill, we're going to have a lot more. And then what are we doing to help prevent that, you know?
To help all those people.
All those people.
You know, I'm lucky to be housing secure where I still live at home with my folks, but like, I couldn't move out with the way rent is unless I had like 4 friends and we squeeze into a studio apartment. It's just not going to happen with the way rent is.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, we came to determine that we wanted this to be our campaign after about a year of really listening in the community and hearing what issues were impacting people the most. And as Minister Brenda had mentioned, housing really is at the core of a lot of these different issues. When it comes to education, when it comes to healthcare, stable housing really is essential in order for people to be able to improve their own conditions. And with rent stabilization, it's something that would be universally used, meaning that people would be able to receive the benefits of that if it were to be enacted in a town like Lynn.
Yes.
And you also just had an event last month in June as well where people gathered. It was Lynn, Beverly, Salem, and I think there were a few other places as well, people all coming together to speak to. There were a couple of representatives, a few state legislators there to speak their mind and to see what they could maybe help them with at the law level, that is, the state level.
Yeah, at that event, we had people speak about their own experiences with housing, and then there was an opportunity to ask legislators whether or not they would support the rent stabilization bill, as well as the real estate transfer fee. And both legislators that were present did say that they were in support of the rent stabilization bill.
Oh, and you just mentioned the rent stabilization, but also, what was the second piece you just mentioned?
The real estate transfer fee.
Thank you. What would you be able to explain that? Because I personally didn't know what that was, so would you be able to explain that to our audience?
Sure. So the real estate transfer fee is a fee that would be applied to $1 million homes that would then go into a bucket for affordable housing.
Oh, okay. Okay, I understand. Another piece of it. Cool. And so for this forum that's coming up, when you said this, in ideal world, ideal situation, what would you like to get out of this forum? Like, what would be an ideal situation?
An ideal situation is that we would like for our representatives, our state reps, to say, yes, we're behind you, we're for this, you know, because not only it helps the city, it also helps them, because those that they are helping and those that they're saying yes to is the one that have voted for them.
Right.
All right? And it's only going to help the city to become better. So.
It would only help, maybe less people would move out, more people would be able to afford here, like you said, reduce the homeless population, help those people maybe get back into a stable housing situation.
Right.
There's a lot of really positive aspects to it.
A lot of positive aspect to this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think hearing our legislators say yes to this would be incredible. I believe that there's a lot of different ways that we need to address the housing crisis in Massachusetts. It's a huge problem. And rent stabilization is just one of the solutions to that. But I think in cities like Lynn, it would have a massive impact.
Yeah.
Mostly because people are getting displaced because of how expensive rent is. And so a bill like this would allow people to stay in the community. And I think by legislators saying yes to this, it would show the community that they have their back.
That's right.
Show that they have some support, make them feel less powerless in that sense.
Right. Yes. Right.
And I can tell you're both so passionate about it. So I am curious, how long have you both been doing this work, been working for ECCO, helping with them?
Well, I retired 8 years ago.
Nice.
And I think shortly after I retired, I got more involved with ECCO because the work that I was doing, I saw a lot of folks being affected by some of the things that we are working on.
Right.
And of some of the folks that I've seen was my own relatives.
Wow.
You know, and when it hits home, it really hurts. And then you can see beyond just home, you could really see the impact that it has on others. And when families are being broken apart because of things that's beyond their control, but they're doing their best to make ends meet, and their best is not enough according to what society is saying, it keeps people beat down, and we need to change that.
Yeah.
That needs to stop. You know, so.
Yeah.
So I would say I've been doing this maybe 7 years now.
You can definitely tell with how passionate you are about it, and it comes across crystal clear.
Well, I'm very passionate about people in general. I think, and I said this to Colette when we met earlier, I said, you know, I think in what's going on, a lot of us have forgotten about humanity.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I agree.
We've forgotten about humanity, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. I see you as you. You see me as me. You know, it's not where we came from, not what we have, not what you have, not what I have. It's us.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that it's not just affecting the low income or the disenfranchised. It's hitting everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone. Everyone, what's going on, everyone is going to suffer at some point behind this. And if we can't get a handle on it now, we're going to have a disaster.
And then Colette, how you said you were a couple years in?
Yeah, so I've been working at ECCO for about 2 years now. Before that, I was working mostly in childcare and education. And I think like many people that go into that sphere of work, I went into it because I wanted to work with the leaders of the future and to create a better world through working with young people. And I still think that work's really important. I still love doing work with young people. And I remember there was this one time where I was talking with some of the students I was working with, where we were talking about just a variety of different issues that were happening in the community. And so one of the things that I told them is, and that's why I'm in education, because I want you to be able to go out and make the world a better place. And I had one student look at me and like point blank was like, so, but what are you doing now? And and I was like, wow, it really sat with me. Yeah, it really just went for it. And I was like, you know, that is an incredibly important point. What are we doing now? And I think that I realized that in order to support the young people that I'm working with in the current moment. We have to change things, and I can't do that alone. That comes through the power of people, and so that inspired me to go into organizing.
So you can tell from both of you the careers that you've been in that really fuels into the power of people and the power of the community. And I do have to wrap up now, but I just want to thank you again so much for coming on to share that passion, to share that work. Like you said, we can't do it alone, so I'm so happy of all the great work that ECCO's been doing.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much for having us. This was a great opportunity to be able to come and talk about this and let others know that we're here for them and they're not in it by themselves. We're here to do whatever we can.
Exactly. And I can't say that better myself. So once again, this has been the Lynn Lowdown. Check out their event in a couple of weeks. I'm Danny Vittori, and we'll see you with more guests next time. Join the Lynn Music Foundation for their Artist Intensive Workshop, led by Ava Davenport. Every Monday in July from 7 to 9 p.m., head to the Vault Theater at Lynn Arts for workshops in songwriting, performance and stage presence, branding, and visual identity, as well as confidence and artist mindset. This free intensive workshop is a collaboration between LMF and We Make Noise, and is open to all, regardless of skill level or experience. So come learn how to refine your artist identity. While Lynn Parks and Recreation Department will be hosting 8 trips for youth this summer, ranging in price from $5 to $40. This upcoming week, on Tuesday, July 22nd, children get the opportunity to go to Roller World with lunch included for $30. There will also be a $5 all-parks sports tournament on the 24th, where kids will be transported to Manning Field to play a variety of sports with children from all the parks programs. More detailed information about all the trips, as well as the registration packet, are available at lyntv.org or by contacting the Lynn Parks and Rec Department. If you're a fan of live art, then this latest edition of Final Fridays is the place for you. From 6 to 9 on the last Friday of the month, join the Lynn Museum at Frederick Douglass Park. The gathering for this month will take place on the 25th, and the theme is Graffiti Get Down, featuring a live art battle between graffiti and street artists, vendors, a live interactive moving gallery, as well as hip-hop performances. Like all Final Fridays, this event is free and open to everyone in the community. These are just some of the many events hosted all around the city. To learn more about all of them, as well as announcements and real-time updates, follow us at Lynn Community TV. For press releases, member and staff content, as well as our complete community calendar, head to lyntv.org. If videos are your major interest, then Lynn Community Television on YouTube is the place for you. I'm Danny Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Leo Inc., Daolis Brothers Construction, and King Movers and Storage.